was nominated for a Grammy, and he came to the hotel in L.A. and knocked on the door. He says, I just wanted to see who you were. And he gave me a card, and I still have the card. He says, break a leg, and a few other things while you had it.
The rumors have been swirling for years, and now Freddie Jackson is confirming what people have guessed for a while: the identity of the love of his life. Despite his success as a singer, the question of whether he was gay always followed Freddie. He never directly answered all the questions about his sexuality, and when he did, he just basically deflected.
Contrary to all the other gook that people try to put out, Luther and I were very good friends. We would see each other like at Valentine's party, and we would threaten to push each other in the pool. And you know,
I went to those parties.
Also, even though he's been linked to different women in the industry like Patti Labelle and Melba Moore somehow, he never got married. For many people in the industry, that was all the confirmation they needed. That must mean he's gay. It's also why they think there was actually something more to his alleged rivalry with Luther Vandross. Anyway, let's get into it.
You are my lady.
Freddie Jackson was a famous singer with a smooth voice that many people loved. But something always made fans curious. He never got married. Even though he was popular with women and had a successful music career, Freddie stayed single for his whole life. This made many people start asking questions about his sexuality. They wanted to know if he was gay or not. Freddie never talked much about his personal life. He liked to keep things private. Over the years, people only linked him to two women, singers Melba Moore and Patti Labelle. There were rumors he dated them, but no one ever saw real proof. They worked together in music, but that didn't mean they were together romantically. Freddie never said they were more than friends, so fans kept guessing about his love life.
Just a little bit more. Don't turn your back on me.
Some fans even believed that he might have been in a relationship with his longtime music producer, Paul Lawrence. They had worked together for many years and were very close, but again, there was no real proof. Still, many people believed that this might be the reason Freddie stayed single. Industry and cultural pressures. In 2012, Freddie appeared in a show called Unsung. It was a documentary series that talked about the lives of singers. During the interview, someone asked him about his sexuality, but Freddie didn't give a straight answer. He said, "I've never had to explain myself to my mother. God will judge us for who we are and what we do." This answer made people talk even more. They said it was not a real answer, and to them, it sounded like he was trying not to say the truth. Many believed it was his way of saying yes without using the word. Some people thought Freddie stayed quiet because he didn't want to lose his female fans. He had many women who loved his songs. If he came out and said he was gay, maybe they would stop buying his music. That could hurt his career. So maybe he chose to stay quiet and let people wonder. Since that interview, Freddie never talked more about it. He didn't confirm anything, and he didn't deny it either. People talked even more online. Someone once asked, was Freddie Jackson gay too? How come he never got married? That question started a long conversation. People had different opinions, but most of them believed the answer was clear. Many felt like they already knew the truth, even if Freddie never said it out loud. One person replied, "He is." Not that it matters. Another person added, "Another Luther?" They were talking about Luther Vandross, another great singer who also never said if he was gay. Just like Freddie, Luther kept his private life to himself. So people often compared the two singers. Some people said that not all gay men want to get married. That could explain why Freddie never tied the knot. Once it was reported that his car was found parked outside a gay bar. What convinced many people that he is indeed gay was an interview on TV's Unsung about 5 years ago. When asked whether he was gay or not, his replies were, "I've never had to explain myself to my mother," and God will judge us for who we are and what it is that we do. There were also his thoughts on labels. I don't like labels. We're all human beings. And you don't have to label anyone's life. Others said it was obvious, and there was no need to ask. It's pretty obvious, someone wrote. Another said, if you've ever seen him in person, it's obvious. He's a full-on queen. That takes nothing away from his talent, but hetero, he is not. That was their way of saying they believed he was gay just by how he looked or acted. Many people remembered what he said on Unsung. He didn't say yes, but he also didn't say no. One fan wrote, he didn't say no, but I'm sure he is. Someone else said, he skipped around the question on Unsung, which pretty much confirmed what we knew all along. To them, his silence was the answer. People also talked about how he looked in his later years. Some said he wore fake eyelashes and heavy makeup, and they took that as a sign. One person said he didn't have to say it on Unsung. His fake eyelashes told the story. They believed his appearance said more than his words. Others remembered the music videos from the past. He was always with beautiful women in the videos. One fan said, I only knew him as a crooner and ladies' man. He always had a fly lady in his videos. Cue Michael Michelle. That made some people believe he was straight back then. Back in the 1980s and 1990s, Freddie and Luther were two of the biggest names in R&B music. People loved their smooth voices and romantic songs. Because they were both so talented, fans and the music industry often compared them. This led to a quiet rivalry between the two singers. Some people even called it a feud, but the truth was more complex. Freddie Jackson became famous very fast. His song, Rock Me Tonight, came out in 1985 and became a huge hit. It stayed at #1 for 24 weeks. Then he had another hit with You Are My Lady, which stayed at #1 for 26 weeks.
You are my lady.
Freddie had more hit songs like Just a Little Bit More,
Just a little bit more. Don't turn your back on me.
and I Could Use a Little Love.
Baby, I could use a little love right now.
He was all over the radio. People started saying, Freddie is taking over R&B. At the same time, Luther Vandross was also making great music. But Luther was not happy that Freddie was getting so much attention so fast. Luther had worked hard for years, and now there was someone new on top. That caused tension between them. The music industry added to the rivalry by always comparing their chart numbers and awards. One day, Freddie said that Luther even called him and joked, okay, enough of you, buddy.
I had a #1 record, but my #2 record was just a little bit more. Number 2 went to #1. So the industry was like, we've had enough of him. And Luther called and said, okay, enough of you, buddy.
It showed that Luther noticed how popular Freddie had become. Some people thought Luther was being serious, but it was also just friendly competition. There was no hate between them, just two great singers trying to be the best. Freddie once told a story about a special moment with Luther. He was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles because he had been nominated for a Grammy. Someone knocked on his door. When he opened it, it was Luther standing there. Freddie was shocked. He couldn't believe it. Luther didn't want to come inside, but he handed Freddie a card and said, "Break a leg," along with a few kind words. Freddie kept that card for many years.
I was nominated for a Grammy, and he came to the hotel in LA and knocked on the door. He says, I just wanted to see who you were. And he gave me a card, and I still have the card. He says, break a leg, and a few other things while you had it.
Later, they saw each other at parties. One time, at a party thrown by Dick Clark, they joked around. They acted like they were about to argue, just to see what people would say. Everyone got quiet, thinking it was real. Then they laughed. Freddie said they even joked about pushing each other into the pool. It was all in good fun.
Contrary to all the other gook that people try to put out, Luther and I were very good friends. We would see each other like at Valentine's party, and we would threaten to push each other in the pool.
Freddie made it clear that even with all the rumors, he and Luther were good friends. He said he missed Luther dearly. He remembered their laughs and the times they shared. People always talked about their rivalry, but in the end, there was respect and friendship. Freddie once said he wants to write a book about his life and his memories with Luther. It was more than a rivalry. It was a bond between two legends.
They came to me and asked me if I felt like I was ready to make a record. I did not have a deal. They put me in the studio on my birthday, October 2nd, 1983, and I recorded my first album.
Fans loved the way he sang about love and feelings. But even though he had success, things were not always easy for him behind the scenes.
Not knowing what it was going to do, if it was going to be a success or not, but it turned out to be one of the greatest things that has ever happened in my life.
Freddie worked with Capitol Records, a big music company. At first, things went well. He made songs people enjoyed, and he sold a lot of albums. But as time went on, the people at Capitol wanted something different. They wanted him to make songs that sounded more like what was popular on the radio. They wanted him to change his music to fit what they thought people wanted to hear. Freddie didn't feel good about that. He liked singing the way he always had. He felt the company was not letting him do what he did best. Instead of letting him choose songs that matched his voice and style, they kept giving him songs that didn't feel right to him. This made Freddie upset. He felt like he was losing control of his own music. He also didn't like how Capitol tried to change his image. They wanted him to look and sound more like younger artists. This was in the late 1980s and early 1990s, when New Jack Swing music was becoming popular. This kind of music was louder and had more beats. It was very different from Freddie's smooth and soft sound. Capitol told him to dress differently and act differently so that younger people would like him more. Freddie tried to go along with it, but it didn't feel natural. This made him feel confused and uncomfortable. His fans also noticed the changes. Some of them didn't like the new style. They missed the old Freddie and the songs he used to sing. As time passed, Freddie's new albums didn't sell as well. Even though he was still talented, Capitol Records didn't promote his new music very much. Promotion is when a music company helps tell the world about an artist's new songs. They put the songs on the radio, in stores, and in ads. Without good promotion, people don't always hear about the new songs. Freddie saw that other artists on the same label were getting more attention. He didn't feel like Capitol cared about him anymore. They weren't helping him like they used to. He felt left behind. This made him feel hurt and angry. He had worked hard and made them a lot of money in the past, but now they weren't supporting him. Because of all this, Freddie's relationship with Capitol Records got worse. He didn't feel respected. He didn't feel free to be himself. He didn't feel like he was being treated fairly. The music became less fun for him. He was stuck between doing what he loved and doing what the company wanted. He was also upset that George Michael, a white singer from England, was doing very well on black music charts. Freddie thought this was not fair. He believed that black singers, who helped create R&B and soul music, were being pushed aside. George Michael was getting more attention and more success in a music style that came from the black community. Freddie once said, "He's doing better on the black charts than the black singers." That really bothered him. Freddie Jackson gave an interview to the Los Angeles Times in 1988. The article was called "Freddie Jackson Won't Sell His Soul for a Pop Hit." In that interview, Freddie shared his true feelings about George Michael. He didn't hold back. He said he had a serious problem with the way George was using black music styles in his own pop music. Freddie felt that this was wrong. He believed George was copying black R&B music, and that was helping him become popular in a way that most black singers couldn't.
So if you love me,
Freddie didn't think George Michael was a bad singer. He even said that George had talent, but the problem for Freddie was how the music industry treated them differently. This made Freddie feel that the system was unfair. In the interview, Freddie said something that sounded angry. That George Michael, who does he think he is? We've got to stop him. He quickly said he was joking, but his message was clear. He didn't like that George was doing better than black singers on their own music charts. Freddie even said, the brothers must not be doing something right if he can come in and take over. He was frustrated and didn't understand why people were choosing George Michael over the black artists. Freddie believed that soul music came from living a certain kind of life. He talked about growing up in Harlem, eating collard greens and fried chicken. He said that's what real soul is, living the life, not just copying the sound. He felt that white singers could sing soul music, but they didn't live it the same way. He believed black singers were born with it and carried it in their lives and in their music. He said George Michael didn't come from that background and didn't truly understand it. Even though George Michael was very popular and sold millions of albums, Freddie felt that it wasn't just about talent. He believed it was also about what the music business calls marketability. That's a fancy word that sometimes just means skin color. Freddie was saying that George Michael was more marketable because he was white, and that helped him sell more records. Freddie said he would never get the same sales or digital plays, even though he had talent too. Years later, people still talk about this issue. Many white singers like Adele, Sam Smith, and Justin Timberlake have found huge success with music that sounds very much like R&B. Some people say it doesn't matter what color a singer is, but others, like Freddie Jackson, have pointed out that the music business doesn't treat everyone the same. They believe that black singers often don't get the credit or the money they deserve, even when they do the same kind of music. Freddie's words may have sounded tough, but they came from real pain. He worked hard, had talent, and made great music, but he saw someone else getting more success with a style that came from his community. That hurt. Even today, what he said still makes people think. The music business has changed a little, but not enough. Maybe one day, things will be more fair for everyone. But back then, Freddie Jackson just wanted people to know the truth.
Fire and desire is gonna burn.
At the end of June 2024, Freddie performed at the St. Kitts Music Festival. This event was special because he also performed at the very first festival many years ago. Many fans were excited to see him return. But after watching a recent video of his performance, some fans started to worry. They felt something was wrong with Freddie. In the video, Jackson sang his hit song, "Rock Me Tonight for Old Time's Sake." But his singing did not sound strong. It looked like he had trouble with some parts of the song. He did not sing like he used to. Some fans said it was hard to watch. One person even said he should just lip-sync to his songs if he was struggling. They still loved him, but they felt bad seeing him like that.
Come rock with me tonight.
Another fan said, "This is hard to watch." Someone else said, "I'll remember the great voice he had before. I wish him the best." People online were clearly concerned. One person asked, "What's wrong with Freddie?" Another asked why the event's promoter booked him if he couldn't sing like before. But the festival's team did not respond to these questions. This was not the first time fans were worried about Jackson's health. Back in December 2017, a video showed that he had lost a lot of weight. At that time, people thought he might be sick, but Jackson quickly cleared that up. He said he was not sick and that the weight loss was his choice. He explained that he wanted to live healthier and started eating better food. Over the years, Freddie has shared that he faced some health problems. He said both his body and mind have gone through a lot. In a 2023 interview, he said many men avoid going to the doctor. He admitted he used to think he was strong enough to avoid doctors. But then, his doctor warned him to pay attention to his health. The doctor told him he might not feel sick now, but things could get worse. He also explained why he sometimes stayed away from music. He said it was not because he didn't love music, but because he needed to take care of himself. He said his health was more important than being on stage. He also mentioned that many singers from his time are no longer alive. He said he wanted to enjoy life and take care of himself while he still could. Freddie was also supposed to perform in Florida during Father's Day week in June, but that event got canceled. The promoter said it was because of a scheduling conflict, but no more details were given.
I have been diagnosed with kidney disease. This journey has had its challenges.
Freddie shared some sad news with his fans in 2024. He said he had been diagnosed with kidney disease. Freddie is 68 years old now, and he wanted to be honest with everyone. He shared this news on social media with a message straight from his heart. He said this journey had not been easy, but he also said he was not going through it alone. His friends, family, manager, and fans were all giving him strength. He thanked them for their love and support. Their kindness helped him stay strong every day. Freddie also said he is now working with the National Kidney Foundation. He wants to help other people who have this disease. He wants more people to understand kidney problems and get help early. He believes that by working together, we can help others and save lives. Many fans started to worry about his health back in July. Freddie performed at the St. Kitts Music Festival after 25 years. But something seemed different. Fans noticed he didn't sing like he used to. Some also said he looked thinner than before. That made people start asking questions about his health. In September 2023, Freddie talked more about it in a magazine interview. He said he didn't always go to the doctor when he felt sick. Like many men, he thought he would be fine. But his doctor told him something was wrong. At first, Freddie didn't believe it. He said, "Not me. I'm Mr. Rock Me Tonight." But the doctor told him, "You're being rocked and don't even know it." That made him think more seriously. Freddie then decided to take care of himself. He said that's why he stopped performing as much. His health is more important than singing on stage. He said many singers who started with him are gone now, and that made him sad. He loves singing, but he loves himself more. Freddie's message was full of hope. He said, "I love you all, and blessings to you." Many people sent him good wishes and prayers. Everyone hopes he gets better soon. We are all rooting for Freddie and sending him healing energy.